Hi everyone, my name is Matt Scroggs and I am the Senior Strategist here at RivalMind. We're a digital marketing agency and I have with me someone quite special on our staff. This is Lydia Forth, and Lydia manages our social media marketing division. And she also happens to be a pretty new bride, and she still has that glow. And so a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about social media, the wedding season coming, and the importance of social media to wedding vendors. We have a couple of wedding vendor clients, and so we were discussing that and talking about how important social media is to brides and the mother of the bride and the people who are spending the money, and of course the wedding vendors. And I told her, you know what, we really need to get this on video so that wedding vendors can potentially glean something from this conversation. And so here we are today talking about wedding vendors, social media, how they go together, how wedding vendors can have more exposure by using social media correctly. And so we put together a couple of questions that I'm going to ask our social media and wedding vendor expert. That's all a mouthful. And so here's my first question. Why is social media so important for wedding vendors?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's really the most important question to answer. But I think before we have to take a step back and think about, what brides are using social media and what they're using it for exactly. Yep. And we know already that most brides are using social media in some capacity to post their own content. They're posting those proposal photos, I said yes to the dress photos, those bachelorette party photos, bridal shower, everything leading up to the wedding day for themselves. But we also know that 89% of brides are using social media now to actually look for inspiration and find wedding vendors. I think your daughter actually found a wedding vendor.
Oh, yes.
On Instagram.
As a matter of fact, my daughter got married last year.
Yeah.
And my wife and I had a photographer that we've used over the years for all kinds of different things. And so we said, we'll just use this person. And she said, no, I've been monitoring and tracking a wedding photographer on Instagram. And, honestly, I'm in a digital marketing company, but it still floored me, the fact that she was following a vendor. Yeah. And we ended up using the photographer that she found on Instagram, and she was fantastic. So it's a testament. Then that's partly why I'm sitting here today talking about this, because it is a testament. I saw it in action. So, that's why this is a really important conversation.
Yeah, and we're seeing that more and more. Brides reaching out directly through Instagram, looking for pricing and availability, and reaching directly to those vendors. So that's why in the wedding industry, we find that Instagram and social media in general is even more important than for other businesses, because it's not just that social proof, like my business is active, but it's, in addition to that, it's a portfolio of showing your most recent work and being able to actually engage direct to those brides who are looking for your services.
Well, that's a great segue into my second question. And my second question is, what content do wedding vendors share on social media? Maybe it's pretty obvious what photographers share, but what about all the other vendors? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great question. Like you said, the photographers, of course, are sharing the photos because that's what they do and that's their service. But other vendors might feel like, I don't have any high quality photos. I just have, these photos that I took on my phone. What am I supposed to be sharing? Right. And we actually think that photographers are the greatest asset to any other wedding vendor for their own content and their own social media account. And the reason for that is those photographers are there at every wedding, capturing every moment and every vendor's services, everything from the hair and makeup of the bride, the jewelry, the rings, the florals, the venue, every single moment is being captured. And most of the time we find that those photographers are more than willing to hand over those photos, let them be shared by the vendors, as long as they're getting some proper credit for those photos. So we actually find that most wedding vendors can post these beautiful high quality photos from their services or of their services taken by those photographers.
So tell me, how do these posts gain traction?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think it's through that tagging and crediting. So it's definitely always number one, you have to tag the photographer who took the photo and give them their credit. But it's an unspoken rule in the wedding industry for all of the vendors to be tagging each other. And so what you find is instead of this idea of competition with one another, it's more this idea of community. All of those vendors are coming together to make that day, so special for the bride and groom and their families. And so what they do in those posts is share and tag each other's work. And then it's kind of a give and receive, right? Like you tag me, I tag you. Yeah. And then it makes it super convenient for those brides because they see a bouquet that they love and they can see who made that exact bouquet or a dress or whatever it might be, Yeah. So it's all about that.
Oh, good. Well, tell me about your experience. You're a brand new bride. Tell me about what you experienced even with social media and, when you got married.
Yeah, well, we loved all of our wedding vendors that were involved. They were super special to us, making that day so perfect for us. And of course, our photographers shared our photos. And then I was actually surprised to see the boutique where I bought my dress shared my photos. And I felt like a celebrity being on their feed. I was like, oh my gosh, they thought I was beautiful enough to be on their feed. Yeah. And so then I'm sharing it and my grandma was sharing it. And it just becomes a snowball effect. Everyone's sharing the photo. Everyone's excited about this special day. And, it's just out there for more on the internet for more people to see in more places, and will give you that traction that you're looking for in the future.
Okay, so I'm going to turn our attention really quick to a little bit more about like the business aspect. You manage social media marketing at RivalMind. And so one of the things that we offer is kind of a plan for wedding vendors.
Yeah.
What is in that plan, or what are the things that we do that perhaps they could do for themselves, but even for you to hear what we could do for you, perhaps, if that makes sense for you, that would make a big difference in their business and the time that it takes for them to accomplish all of these things.
Yeah.
Maybe you can just talk to that a little bit.
So we have a few different social media plans, and we created one specific for the wedding industry because we know the industry has different needs than other businesses on social media. And so in that plan, that encompasses RivalMind doing all the reach out. So we're actually, getting the photos for you, posting them, and what the vendors can then do is do what they do best. So they can be focused on those weddings they have coming up, the ones that they're taking care of, making sure all of those brides and grooms are taken care of. And in the background, their social media is running beautifully and gaining those leads for them. And then the other thing we do is we want to be engaging all the time as quickly as possible with those brides and their family. We don't want a bride to reach out and wait days and days to hear something back. That's when she's probably going to reach out to someone else. Yeah. And so we're responding right away, same day, making sure we respond to every bride and get her as much information as we can before then passing that lead off to the vendor so that they can then follow up and get the details they need to actually support that wedding.
Well, I know that it is a ton of work and that the vendors, our customers, really appreciate it. As a matter of fact, Cortland is in the room in the studio, and I've heard her say this is a ton of work. So I think it's a great value. Tell them what they should do next if they had an interest in at least broaching the subject, having a conversation with you.
Yeah, I think the first thing to do is give us a call, shoot us an email. We would love to talk with you, dive into your Instagram, your social media specifically, see what you're doing and how we can improve that. It is a lot of work, but that's what our team does for you. We kind of take that burden off of you so you can focus on making those special days and those special moments happen. And we would just love to have a conversation, get it started, and see how we can help. I'm confident that our team could make a difference.
Well, Lydia, thank you for the time that you took today to do this. I think this is actually fantastic. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful for you. And if you have any questions at all, you can find us, of course, on social media, but also give us a call the old-fashioned way. Send us an email. But we would love to hear from you. Thanks again, and have a good one.